Hello, friends. Across the fertile plains of northern India, power was not held by one alone. Thrones were many, ambitions greater still. And among these rising states, one kingdom stood tall beside Magadha, eyeing its neighbor with both rivalry and respect, Kosala. Kosala's heart lay in Ayodhya, a city already glowing with myth and memory. Here, kings ruled with a balance of might and piety, drawing strength from a land watered by the Sarayu and blessed by trade routes that carried wealth from far corners. But Kosala was not merely about prosperity, it was about legacy. Tales of Rama, the legendary prince, lingered in its air, and whether history or epic, they gave Kosala an aura of divine favor. In the 6th and 5th centuries BCE, Kosala was more than a name, it was a contender. Its rulers, like King Prasenajit, expanded its influence far and wide. He was known for his cunning in politics, forging ties and marriages that wove webs of power across the subcontinent. And yet every alliance was a calculation, every promise a wager in the great game of supremacy. But why was Kosala seen as Magadha's great rival? The answer lies in geography, wealth, and timing. Kosala controlled fertile lands, abundant with rice and trade. It had resources to feed armies, wealth to attract allies, and sacred cities to anchor legitimacy. Its proximity to Magadha meant that the two were bound in a dangerous dance, neighbors destined for both cooperation and conflict. Kosala's strength was also in its adaptability. While steeped in Vedic traditions, it opened its doors to the new winds of thought blowing across the plains. The Shramana movements, with their challenge to ritual and caste, found patrons and followers here. The Buddha himself wandered through Kosala's lands, sometimes welcomed by kings, sometimes stirring debate among priests and thinkers. In this way, Kosala became not just a political power, but also a stage where spiritual revolutions played out. Yet rivalry has its costs. Despite its strength, Kosala could not always match Magadha's relentless drive. Marriages were made between the two dynasties, truces were brokered, but wars still flared. Sometimes Kosala gained the upper hand, other times it bent under Magadha's ambitions. The rivalry became a pattern, one kingdom rising, the other scheming, like two wrestlers circling endlessly in the dust. And behind all this, the ordinary people lived their lives. Farmers tilled fields under the shadow of kings, merchants guided caravans along dusty roads, and monks debated in forest groves. For them, the rivalry of Kosala and Magadha was both distant and immediate. It decided the taxes they paid, the battles fought on their soil, and the stories whispered at night. Kosala's greatness lies not only in its challenge to Magadha, but in its embodiment of the era itself. Bold, ambitious, yet fragile in the face of greater tides. It reminds us that history is rarely about one power alone. It is about the many who strive, collide, and shape the world through their struggle. But the story does not end here. For across the Ganga plain, another force stirred. Not a single kingdom ruled by one monarch, but a league, a gathering of clans who dared to try something different. Where Kosala and Magadha sought thrones, this power sought consensus. Could it be possible that in the world of kings, democracy had already found a voice? Next, we journey into the story of the Vaji Confederacy, where the ancient world experimented with shared power.